Hey everyone, happy college football. Welcome to Porcelain Picks. I'm your host, Andrew Fabian, bringing you Monday's version of Porcelain Audit. We're going to take a look back at week 11, and what a week it was. We started off super hot in week 11. The Porcelain boys go 11-11 in week 11. All right. So not the good showing that we thought we'd have. We started out the day 11-7 before those night games, but we are here to be accountable to you. We're going to take a look at where we were right and, more importantly, where we were wrong and where we need to do better, because we at Porcelain Picks are here to bring you the locks you need as you scroll atop the porcelain throne. All right. The season is winding down. So let's take a look back at the weekend that was. We will do better in week 12. That is a promise. All right. We got the noon kickoff. So we had big noon kickoff. We had Penn State hosting Michigan. A lot of controversy surrounding this game when it came to Coach Harbaugh not being allowed to coach from the sideline. It did not matter. I told you Michigan was just going to outmuscle Penn State, outcoach Penn State even without their own head coach. James Franklin just continues to just show he's not a great in-game coach. I'm not going to hammer him too hard here. I've done that enough over the past couple days with buddies of mine. But Coach Franklin going for 2 in the first half has me scratching my head. That 2-point conversion attempt at the end of the game when they went down 9 with a chance to bring it to 1 score, they choose to go for 2. I don't think I've ever seen a worse coaching decision in my life. So, Coach Franklin, you are the stinker of the week for week 11. All right. But on the positive side of this game, we got this one right for you. I told you I thought the final score would be something like 24-17. If not for those 2-point conversions, what would the score have been? 24-17. All right, so we had Michigan minus 4.5. That was a lock 'em, flush 'em. Good call on the Porcelain boys on that one. And then we said under 45.5. That was also a hit. Let's move to the SEC. So we had Alabama traveling to Kentucky. I told you to take Bama. They were going to roll in this game. Bama was a 10.5-point favorite. Saban has these guys really playing for keeps headed into the end of the year. Jalen Milroe looks like the real deal. Watch out for Bama headed into the end of this season. They're going to give Georgia a matchup for the books here in the SEC championship. Bama was a lock 'em, flush 'em win. Where we lost, we had Kansas hosting Texas Tech. I told you Kansas was going to have a big game here with their quarterback, Jason Bean. Unfortunately, Bean gets injured early on. He got smacked. Texas Tech goes on to roll in this game. Kansas minus 3.5 never stood a chance. Texas Tech won this one. We were wrong. Maryland at Nebraska. I told you take Nebraska plus 2.5 with Matt Rule. They were looking to get bowl eligible for the first time since 2016. This one was a stinker of a game. Maryland ends up winning by 3. Nebraska actually had a chance to win this game by 3. They were in field goal range. They would have locked it up for the boys, but they end up losing. We missed by a 0.5 point on this call. Maryland wins. Nebraska, Matt Rule, fail. All right, we failed you on that one. Let's travel to one of the big games of the day. We had JMU and the undefeated boys hosting UConn. JMU was a 24.5-point favorite. Over-under was 48.5. UConn's been battered and beat all year long. This was no different. Joey Mack called this a lock. This was a lock. JMU comes up with the win. The over hits. We went 2 for 2 on this game. All right, let's go to Arizona at Colorado. This was a 2 p.m. kickoff. I told you Arizona was going to come out and roll in this game. Colorado's defense has been breaking down here as the season progresses. They actually outperformed what I thought they would do. Shadur Sanders is a great player. They were going back and forth with Arizona, who is a good football team. So good on Colorado, good on Dion for getting these guys up for this game. They lost a couple commitments with their performance the last few weeks, but Arizona only wins by 3. Colorado had a chance to win, so we missed on that game as well. Big ACC matchup, Florida State hosting Miami. This is a rivalry game. I told you Florida State was going to come out and blow the doors off this one. Miami's an undisciplined team headed into the back end of this year. I questioned whether they were going to get up for this game like they typically do. I was wrong. Miami gets up for it. It's close. Florida State ekes out the victory, but we were wrong on this one. Let's go back to the SEC. We've got Tennessee. They went to Missouri. Missouri was a 2.5-point dog. Over-under was set at 58.5. Luther Burden did not play. It did not matter. Tennessee could not put points on the board. I thought Missouri's defense was a little bit suspect. Joe Milton comes up with a dud. We were right on the Missouri plus 2.5, so that was a lock 'em, flush 'em. The over did not hit. I thought this would be a game both teams got into the 30s. Tennessee, again, didn't get to double digits. So that was dead wrong. Back to the Pac-12. We had the Utes traveling to Washington to face the undefeated Huskies. Washington was an 8.5-point favorite in this game. I told you to take Washington. I thought Utah's been running the ball really well all season. I thought this was going to be a 31-14 type game. Penix was going to put some points on the board. Man, we had this one live. This was a stinker. Utah getting this cover was just abysmal. Washington, if you didn't see the highlight, the guy almost had a pick six, but he dropped the ball at the 2-yard line, headed into the end zone. This guy should be out of college football after that. Cut him right away. You lost some money for our Porcelain bettors, but Washington also had that chance to go up with that field goal right at the end of the game. That was probably the worst field goal attempt I've ever seen. Washington only wins by 8, and we miss on the 8.5. So we lost that one. Let's go. Rutgers and Iowa. Whew. Iowa and the under. I told you to take Iowa minus 1.5 in this game and the under 29. Iowa wins 22-0. Not much else to say there. Their defense comes through. Their offense does what their offense does. And we get the under with the record under 29. Lock it, flush it. We'll keep fading Iowa on the points. All right, let's go to the other Big Ten stinker this week. We had Northwestern at Wisconsin. I told you to take the under 42.5. That one was proven true as well as it ended in the 30s. Lock that one, flush that one. I did like Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy has these guys rolling, coming off of Bedlam. I was super disappointed in this performance. I told you to take Oklahoma State as a 2.5-point favorite, traveling to Orlando to face UCF. They just came up with a dud. This was a big letdown game. They had the ball in their court to make it to the Big 12 championship game to face Texas, but now they're tied. They're in like a 4-way tie in second place in the Big 12, and now it's out of their control. Oklahoma State with the stinker. We lost this one. All right, the night games. All right, let's go. Ole Miss at Georgia. I told you Georgia was going to pull this one out. These guys are looking scary lately. This one was a win for us. We had Georgia just coming out and dismantling Ole Miss. Let's go Michigan State at Ohio State. Michigan State's been down all year. This is just a throwaway season for them. I told you, take Ohio State and be confident in it. They were minus 31.5. That one hit as well. Lock it, flush it. All right, now we'll go Iowa State at BYU. This started off our horrible finish to the night. We were 11-7 going into the 10 p.m. and later games. Iowa State at BYU. We said BYU was going to come out and prevail and cover this 8-point spread. They did not. We lost this one. Iowa State wins easily with Rocco Beck, their quarterback. They're looking like they might be a contender in the Big 12 as we push to the end of the year. And then we had USC at Oregon. I had 3 plays in this game, and I was wrong on all 3, so I apologize for that. I thought Oregon was going to blow this game open towards the end. I had them minus 14.5. That was wrong. I told you to take the Oregon over 46.5-point total. That was wrong. I told you to take the over in the game, 76.5. That was wrong. This game was a lot lower scoring than I thought it would be, so I apologize for that miss. That game took a lot out of us. Again, 11-11 on the week. We will do better next week. Thank you for following us. Drop a subscribe. Watch out for the MACtion locks of the week. We got some games coming up Tuesday. We got some games coming out Wednesday. Joey Mack is doing the research. We've got the victories coming up. He went 3-0 last week, midweek MACtion. So watch and learn and let us deliver for you. Porcelain Picks. This is Porcelain Audit. Have a great week. Happy college football.